Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for taking the time to come in and test today, and congratulations on passing your state board exam. This meeting was supposed to be broadcasted live, but however, due to technical difficulties, I am having to pre-record it. This does serve as a benefit because if you want to go back and rewatch it, you have this recording available to you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and change my screen to the application that Ms. Knepfle gave you upon completing your exam. It should look like this. Okay, so this is going to be the dental assistant application that you're going to submit to the state of Texas. There are many parts to this, so we're going to go ahead and break those down for you. The very first one is going to be if this is your first time applying. To my understanding, for most of you, this is your first time applying, so we're going to go ahead and check off that first little box here. Now, if you are an active duty veteran, active duty spouse, or military spouse, there is an option for you to identify yourself there. So check any that apply. If none of these apply, please leave this section blank. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and move down to this next section here. This next section is for you to provide all of your personal information. Please give them and disclose your full social security number along with your date of birth in the format it's given there. The last name, first name, and middle name that you provide does need to match your the name that is on your federally issued state or government issued ID. Okay. The state of Texas will be mailing stuff to you, so please provide them with your current address. Now, if your current address is the same as your permanent address, you may go ahead and rewrite your current address underneath permanent address, or you may include the quotation marks underneath each section for permanent address, city, and state to signify that your current and permanent address are the same. Okay. If you are working in the healthcare field, you will need to provide them with your work address in the space provided. As I mentioned earlier, the state of Texas will be mailing stuff to you, so you need to decide which address is going to be the best option for you. For most, I have students that choose current address. And again, if your current and permanent address is the same, you can choose either or. Okay. Next, you'll need to provide them with your phone number. And finally, you'll need to provide them with your email address. The state of Texas will be communicating with you through email, so please make sure that your email address is legible so that they can get that email to the correct address and it doesn't bounce back. Okay, if you are an active duty spouse, there is a section for you to fill out. If this does not apply to you, you are simply going to put NA. Moving on to the next section. If you have held a dental state license in the state of Texas before, this section is going to be for you to fill out. However, if this does not apply to you, you are going to mark it out with NA. Next is going to be for the employee dental assistants. If you are employed in a dental office, you will check yes. Okay, after checking yes, you will need to provide the dentist's name. If you have more than one dentist working at your facility, either the lead dentist or just a dentist name is going to need to be included. Along with their license number, you can locate a dentist license number through the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners website under license search. You'll choose the option to look up dentist, and you can look them up by their first and last name. If you're having trouble or if you do not want to go through those steps, you may contact your employer and request that they give you the dentist license number for the purposes of you filling out your dental assistant application. A dental license number is public knowledge. It's not a secret number, so they should have it readily available. You'll next need to provide the office phone number and address. This address should be the same address as your work address from page 1. And if your facility has an email address, you will then provide them the email address. If not, you can simply mark it off with NA. Okay, so employee dental assistants, once you are done filling out this section completely, you may move on to the education information. For those of you that are not employed in the dental office, yes, you will simply mark no, leave everything else blank, and move on to the education section, which is where we are going to next. Okay, for the education section, the very first question is asking if you've completed high school or if you have a GED. These were both requirements in order for you to enroll in our dental assistant program, so we're going to go ahead and check off yes. The next two questions are pertaining to CDAs. We are not CDAs, so we're going to go ahead and mark off no. Fourth question is asking if you have taken the CPR. This is also a program requirement, so we're going to go ahead and mark off yes. And the last question is asking if you've taken your state board exam. This is the exam that you passed today, so we're going to go ahead and mark off yes. So everyone's answers to the education information section should be the same. Yes, no, no, yes, and yes. Okay, the next section is going to be pertaining to background questions. As the directions state, please answer each of the following questions by putting a check mark in the appropriate box of the right answer. You must answer each question with a yes or no response, as no other response is acceptable. All yes answers must be explained in detail in a separate signed and notarized affidavit. The affidavit should include all relevant dates and I identify the relevant jurisdictions and or entity involved. Failure to disclose any of these requested information may result in the denial of your application or other appropriate action. Okay, so again, if you answer yes to these questions, you may want to reread this top section. The first section is going to be questions 1 through 3. Please answer yes or no accordingly. You'll next move on to page 3. Page 3 is going to give you questions 4 through 7. Please answer yes or no accordingly. And finally, you will sign and date here and here. Okay, this next section is for a notary to complete. I am a notary. If you are needing my notary services, just know that I will be back in the office come January the 4th. Give me a call or send me an email and I would love to schedule a time to get this notarized for you. It should not take more than about like 5 minutes. You do not have to have it notarized by me. You can have it notarized by any other state of Texas notary. Okay, next we are going to focus on the dental assistant requirement. So before you can send anything off to the state of Texas, there are other requirements that we need to make sure are complete before you are able to send your application off. So the very last thing listed here is the very first thing I want you to do. Notice how I put a little star by it and I put do first, okay? So you will need to get a self-query report from the National Practitioner Data Bank. So because most of you are entry-level dental assistants, this is going to be more of a registration for you. The National Practitioner Data Bank kind of keeps a background check to make sure you've never done anything illegal in the dental field. Again, because you are entry-level dental assistants, this is more going to be of a registration for you, but the state of Texas still needs it. To get started, you will need to go to this web address here, listed at the very bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that, so let me make it a little bit darker. Okay, you'll need to go to this web address here, or you can Google NPPD, and it should lead you to their home website. But you're going to follow the prompts to request a new self-query report. It does cost $4. The $4 will get you an emailed copy of the report. So as soon as you're done, you're going to get an email so that you know what that report looks like. But what the state of Texas wants is the original one. Original sealed envelope. Okay, so the $4 is also going to give you a mailed copy of this report. So tell whoever you live with that if you see a letter from the NPPD, from the National Practitioner Data Bank, do not open it. Because if it's opened and you send it into the state of Texas, the state of Texas will reject it. They'll send you back your paperwork. You'll have to get on this website again, request a new order, pay another $4, and wait for it to come back in the mail. Okay, so again, you will need to go on the MPPD website, pay $4 to get you an emailed copy and an original sealed mail copy. The state of Texas wants the original sealed envelope report. Okay, so the reason I want you to do this first is while you're waiting for this to come in the mail, you can get busy getting everything else together. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and scoot on up. So if you noticed on the very first page of your application, there is an application fee for $39. This did go up $1 from the most recent application update. So you will need to get a money order or a check for $39 and address it to the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners, and you can find their information at the top of your application. Do not ever mail cash, please. It has to be a money order or a check for $39. Okay, that's gonna be your first little point here. Okay, next you will need to submit a fully completed dental assistant application, meaning everything that needs to be filled out is filled out. Once that is done, you may go ahead and put a check mark by that bullet. Next, you'll need a 2x2 passport photo. As you can see, this is also highlighted at the corner of your application on page 1. This needs to be a 2x2 professional passport photo. It has to be on a plain white or off-white background, and again, be sized correctly. You can get a 2x2 passport photo from CVS, Walgreens, the Photo Center at Walmart, and some post offices also do passport photos. Now, typically passport photos are done on the blue greenish background, like you would get at the DMV office. Wherever you go get your passport photo done, make sure it's on a plain white or off-white background. Now, if you have a white wall at your house, this does not mean you can take a selfie and cut it out 2x2. It has to be a passport photo. Okay, so once you have that, go ahead and check that off. Next, you'll need to provide them with a copy of your high school diploma, GED, or transcript. Once you have that, check that off. Now, we're going to skip this next section here. We're going to come back to that. Okay, you also need to provide them with a copy of your driver's license, a state ID, or passport photo, some type of government-issued ID. You'll also need to provide them with a copy of your CPR card. Your CPR card was emailed to you from the American Heart Association. Next, you'll need to provide them with a copy of your state board exam proof that you've passed your test. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screens really quick so that you can see what that looks like. Okay, this is the copy that the office should have given you this morning. It shows that you've passed your state board exam. We gave you 2 copies, one for you to keep, to make copies of, or submit to your current employer as proof that you've passed your state board exam. And the second copy was for you to submit with your dental assisting application. Okay, so this is proof that you've passed your state board. I'm gonna go ahead and switch screens again. Okay, so again, to review, you need a money order or a check for $39 addressed to the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners. You need to have a completely filled out dental assistant application. You need to have a 2x2 passport photo that is on a plain white or off-white background that is sized correctly, a copy of your high school diploma or GED or transcript. You'll also need to provide them with a copy of a government-issued photo ID, copy of your CPR card, and proof that you've passed your state board exam. That's the paper that we gave you this morning. And then a copy of the self-query report in its original sealed envelope that is mailed to you. Okay, so notice how I have all of these checked off but one, and we're going to talk about this one here in just a sec. This is the only one you're going to do after you turn everything in. So once you have all of the other bullet marks checked off, then you can stick your application and supporting documents in a big manila envelope and address it to the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners. Okay, and their address is going to be right here at the top. You'll also notice that there is a place for you to attach your 2x2 passport photo. From feedback from students, they attach their passport photos with tape to the backside because oftentimes stapling it will ruin the photo, and paper clips might scratch the face of the photo. Okay, so once you have all of those bullet marks checked off, then you are able to mail your license to the state of Texas. Okay, so once you mail your license to the state of Texas and they receive and confirm that your application and everything is 100% complete, they are going to email you letting you know that you are able to complete the next step. The next step is going to be for you to do your fingerprints. Okay, again, this is the only bullet mark that you will not have checked off. Okay, so you're going to check off all of the other bullet marks, mail your information to the state of Texas, and then once this information is received by the state of Texas, then they will tell you where to go get your fingerprints done. Okay, so they're going to email you this information. You're going to be sent to IdentGo facility. Once you have that receipt and that report from that facility, then you're going to mail off that report, you're going to email that report to this email address right here. Okay, so that email address is licensinghelp@tsbde.texas.gov. Once they have proof that you have completed your fingerprint and your criminal history record from an IdentGo facility, then they are going to release a license number for you and send you your dental assistant license in the mail. Okay. So again, if you guys get confused on this part, if you need any help, please contact us or please email us. Now, once you send your application up to the state of Texas and you're wanting to know the status or you're wanting to know if they received your information, you will have to contact the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners, as we do not have access and we're not privy to any status update information. Okay. All right, guys. Well, if you need further help, again, give me a call. Today is Wednesday, December the 23rd. We will be in the office until 5 o'clock today. We will be closed for the remainder of the year until January the 4th, but I will have my email. I will have access to my email, so feel free to email me. But please get this done. Please go ahead and do the self-query report so that you can jump on this and get everything turned into the state of Texas.